game. We lambasted this Ravens team for what they did a year ago, 16 rushes for 80-some yards.
Yes.
Todd Monken said, you want to see a run game? How's 299? What did you see in the ground game, the assertiveness from the Ravens over this 60 minutes?
Just how well they executed and the mentality. They were the bullies in the trenches. They were the guys that were moving grown men against their will. And then when you allow a running lane for a guy like Derrick Henry in those type of conditions, good luck in trying to slow down that snowball that's coming downhill. But the thing also, too, Ryan, that I really love with the Baltimore Ravens is how they started this ball game. They were putting the football in Lamar Jackson's hand. And he was running, like I said, he had 4 rushing plays, that he was taking the football and he was running. That's what you need to see, because to Joe's point, the last time we saw Baltimore in the playoffs, the AFC Championship game from a year ago, they turned their back on the ground and pound attack. That has to be the mentality moving forward, because they're a better team when they're running the football.
Yeah, this was an awesome game. I mean, top to bottom, start to finish, as you can even just see there on the stats to the side. It was just, this was the exact Baltimore Ravens ball that you, if you're a fan sitting at home watching TV in the crowd, you're like, this is how I wanted you to play. This is how I wanted you to play against the Kansas City Chiefs last year. And now you have this season's playoffs, and you have the power to rewrite your own story, your own narrative. And when the game first started, it was 11 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock, first quarter, and there was a penalty. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me right now? I was like, is this what the Ravens are going to be? But no, they did well. They only had a handful of penalties, only 3 penalties, I think it is. Really, really tight game, which is just awesome, because that has been an Achilles heel for them. I mean, that opening drive, I wrote in all caps, loved, because it was hard, it was physical, there was no random deep chances that kind of were like, why'd you throw that ball? You're making good, strides here, just stick with what works. It was just smart, but it was creative, where they had the direct snap to Henry, but it was conservative creative. It was yeah, we're gonna get a little creative, but we're not gonna set ourselves up to now be 2nd and 10, 3rd and 8. It was just we're setting ourselves up for success. Lamar was comfortable. They did put the ball in Lamar's hands and got him settled very quickly, which was awesome. It was just, then a beautiful throw from Lamar to Bateman. It was just textbook. It was honestly textbook Ravens, 13 plays, 95 yards. And that immediately, again, I always like to switch in and out of being I'm a Ravens fan, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a Ravens fan, I'm a Steelers fan. And if I'm a Steelers fan in that moment, I'm like, what the heck was that? They just scored effortlessly. The only thing that I'm thinking is if you're a Steelers fan, you're just all right, well, that was the first drive. Those are the scripted plays. That's their best shot. That's going to be the easiest that it should be all game. And then after that, we're going to come back. And then I was like, nope, we'll just do it again. 9 plays, 90 yards, to end the half, go up 21-0. I mean, it was just so effortless and dominant. It was just awesome. It was the second longest TD in postseason history for the Ravens. They were 3 for 4 in the red zone. It was just great ball, man. It was honestly just great ball. Lamar, 16 for 21, 175 yards, 8.3 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, and a 132 rating. And then 15 carries for 81, obviously 299 total for the team. 26 carries, 186 yards for Derrick Henry. 10 for 15 on 3rd down. 464 total yards. I mean, they had 40 minutes for the time of possession. It's what else can you say, honestly? I mean, it was just, they had 304 yards at half. The only drawback, because I always try to find the positive and the negative, the only drawback is they didn't keep their foot on the gas in the second half. And then they gave up, obviously, points, which, you can't expect to, shut them out or anything like that. But it's you put up 21 at half. You would like a little bit more in that second half. But again, I think they would have put up 35 or at the very least 31. But, I mean, yeah, man, this silences a lot of people. A lot of people, especially this.
You also know that Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, not great. How many points do you think Baltimore's scoring this week? I would be shocked if they cracked 24. So to cover Can Pittsburgh get to 16? I think so.
Maybe.
Pittsburgh plus 9.5. Next.
Well, that didn't work out too good now, did it? 1, Pittsburgh did not get to 16. And 2, prepare to be shocked because they got 24 points. And like I said, they easily could have gotten 35. They just obviously ran the clock out. And I guess, the whole idea that Lamar Jackson doesn't know how to play in the playoffs. He's not good. He can't beat the Steelers. He can't, win games in the playoffs. He chokes. He's this, he's that. And it's like, really? Because he looked pretty sick. And I know they're still going to be like, well, you only have to throw the ball 21 times. And they ran the ball 50 times, which is true. But when they called Lamar's number, he was brilliant. You saw his scramble throws. I mean, the touchdown to Bateman was because of him. The touchdown, I forget who it was at the very end of the, I forget which touchdown. I forget where he had to scramble and, throw. I forget who caught that touchdown. It completely slipped my mind. It was, let me see. Right, it was the touchdown to Justice Hill at the end of the half. I mean, it was just perfect ball, man. When the Texans play this way, the Texans, wow. I've been making a lot of videos and just watched the Texans game as well. The Ravens, hopefully I haven't said Texans today while making this video, but the Ravens, if the Ravens play this way, how do you stop them? The Steelers only had the ball for 20 minutes. It's crazy. The Steelers had 11 first downs. The Ravens, 29. The time of possession was 40 minutes Ravens, 20 minutes Steelers. If you don't give the other team the ball, how do they put up points? How do they win? I just love this. I really, really did. And I'm just so fascinated to see what the game plan will be against, I assume, the Bills. Who knows? But I assume the Bills. I guess technically, I guess regardless of whether the Bills or not lose, it would either be against them or I guess technically it would be against the Texans. Is what the two chances would be, because either way, if the Bills lost, then the Chiefs would be facing the Broncos. But so I just think this game plan, how do you stop it? If you're going to keep this run game so dominant and the throws that you ask Lamar to do are just so schemed in such a way where it's so pitch and catch, and then allow him to still scramble in ways that where he can either buy time, then obviously make a beautiful throw where he gets to really show his magic, or you also allow him to run. The one thing that I didn't love, when again, I understand it's playoffs, you're going to do what you got to do, but he took a lot of hits and he was banged up. You guys watched the game. He was hanging over in the huddle at one point. Everyone's kind of you all right? You all right? And they had to put a heating pad around him. That's the one thing where you're I love him laying it all out there, but you're just the game against this game against the Steelers is one of those games that you're hoping that you could win the game easily, and no one has to take a lot of hits. It's just one of those easy games you get in and get out. Because it's going to be tough against, again, I assume the Bills. And then maybe the Chiefs, either the Chiefs or the Texans at that point then. It'll be all hands on deck. But this was such clean, perfect ball. Didn't use Mark Andrews as much as I had anticipated, but I also didn't think they were going to run the ball as many times as they did either. But this was just clear football. The only thing that I also wish that I saw, and this is just because I'm all about growth and maturity and evolving. And I'm happy I didn't see this, but I also wish I did in a weird way. So you're just going to have to follow this for a second. I loved how perfect ball. They played essentially perfect ball. A part of me would have liked to see Lamar throw an interception, either have a bad throw, tip, whatever, and then just see Lamar the next drive march back down the field, right? Just really show in the playoffs, I'm wiping this all off. Because there was a couple times I even saw Lamar get angry on the field a little bit. And it's I want him to just always stay composed. I want him to always just be in the moment, focused, and going. Because, again, when you play the Bills or you play the Chiefs, it's almost a guarantee that you're going to have a couple moments when, they're going to really get to you. And I just want to see him to continue to be able to just keep moving forward. And the only way you really do that is by facing that adversity in the playoffs. And so it would have been just a great opportunity to have like a bad fumble, a bad interception against the Steelers, where it doesn't matter. You still get the win. You still get to have the experience of like, yeah, whatever, and overcome it. So you grow a little bit more, and then you take that, you take that with you against the Bills or the Chiefs. And but again, that's just me trying to kind of pick and choose the growth opportunities that you see. You have to let them obviously come to you organically. Obviously, you don't want to have to face that at all, but again, it's inevitable that you will. But yeah, man, this was such a great game, and I was just actually one of the happiest things that I, when watching this, was just the lack of penalties, because the penalties for the Ravens just, oh my God, are just so indefensible to be a team as great as this and yet just lead the NFL by penalties by a wide margin, and just have it just be relentless. Even games that they win dominantly, it's like they still will have like 8, 9, 10, 11 penalties. And it's like, what are you doing? You can't do that in the playoffs. You can't do that. You're not going to beat the Bills or the Chiefs having 11 penalties. You just can't. So to see them be able to take care of it against a divisional rival, against the Steelers, a ton of history where they're going to be chirping, there's going to be that back and forth, and to see no one succumb to that, to see no one get any dumb penalties, any penalties where you're just like, what are you doing? Focus on the game. Stop chirping. Don't push back, whatever it is. Like, you didn't see any of that. This is the exact ball that you would want them to see. So again, this was textbook Ravens, textbook perfection. And it's just like, this is the game plan where it's just like, it really feels like you could say, this is exactly what we're going to run. This is exactly what we're going to do. And we're still going to win. Like, here, Chiefs, here, Bills, like, these are the plays that we're going to run. We're going to I'm telling you right now, we're handing the ball off to Derrick Henry right now. Just go ahead and stop it. And that's what I said going to this game. I was like, this is our game plan. Just go ahead and stop it. And that's exactly what the Ravens were able to do to the Steelers. They were literally just like, we're going to keep running the ball, and you're not going to be able to stop it. Sometimes it's going to be Lamar. Sometimes it's going to be Henry. Sometimes we're going to ask Lamar to kind of do a nice little 10-yard pass. Sometimes he's going to kind of scramble a little bit, throw a 20-yard pass. Like, it was just, we're going to do whatever you want. And we're going to be super predictable. We're not going to be like out of this world creative and try to do anything too fancy, too crazy. Take a million, deep shots down the field to show that we can do it. We're just going to be super boring. And super boring can be dominant. And when something is dominant, it's not boring. It's fun. So this was just a great game, and pretty happy for the Ravens and happy for Lamar Jackson to, continue to show everyone what he's truly, what he's truly capable of doing. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson's dominant win over the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.